video, I'm gonna be sharing with you how to trust the universe 101. This is gonna be a complete kit, you understanding everything you need to do in order to trust the universe more. And this will make the manifestation process so much easier. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you that of trusting the universe 101, understanding everything that you can do for this process to make this so much easier. And before I even get too far into it, I want you to know that this is something that I go back and forth with a lot because I've been rewarded, all right? I've been rewarded for my ego. I'm the first to admit it. I made a decision back in February 2017. You probably already know the story, but I made a decision then to go daily on YouTube. And I simply knew that if I made a video every single day for a year, my life would be dramatically changed. Within 3 to 6 months, completely got rid of my 9-to-5 job working at Barneys New York selling women's shoes. And it was my willpower was one of the parts that got me to that place to where I was able to let go of the job. It's been the biggest transformation my whole life. Like, I get up every day, I do what I love. I'm making a video in my backyard right now, a little bit different than the other videos, but it's like, you know what? I'm gonna try something new today. I'm gonna trust the universe, okay? And now I'm trusting the universe by making a video outside. Get outside the norm a little bit, do something a little bit different. And in general, I can do that because I had the willpower back in February 2017 to have the willpower to go daily on YouTube. However, there are different modes to this. The thing is, you wanna ask yourself that question. You wanna say, what stage am I in? Now what I mean by that is sometimes you'll get some people that just aren't taking action at all. They're like, it's not that you can trust the universe too much, but there is a equal amount, not equal, but there is a certain amount of stepping in a certain direction that your ego might have to take. Or ego, I mean like my body. Like if I never made a video, I wouldn't have become a full-time YouTuber. So there is this give and take. The thing is what side of the spectrum are you on, or are you going straight down the middle of trusting the universe? And part of trusting the universe is sometimes taking action. Because if you feel guided to take action, or you feel like inspired because it's something that you're passionate about, it's gonna be easier for you to be in the vibrational state that you want to really experience what you want in your life. You see, this is a give and pull from the universe into the ego. This is both of us. It's right, it's about, you ever heard them talk in Eastern philosophy about the middle way? I think the Tao means the way. The middle way. So maybe on one of it, it's the ego, do, take action, and all the stuff that our ego wants to do, or not want to do. And then on the other side of this, trust in the universe. It's like, oh, I'm gonna allow it to happen. I know that things are gonna happen eventually. So it's both sides of this right here. And what you wanna do is you wanna go right down the middle. Now, at the beginning of my YouTube career, I was mainly on this side. Like I was trusting the universe because I was doing what I was passionate about, and in that vibrational state, things happened easier. But at the same time, it became a little bit excessive sometimes. Like, I've made a daily video since February 2017, and I haven't missed a single day, and it's almost 2019 now. So there's nothing wrong with that because I love doing it, but at a certain point, if I'm doing it out of a desperation of like, I need to stay relevant on YouTube, then sometimes that can actually hurt because I'm doing it from an energy that isn't as pure. Now, as long as I'm making videos I'm passionate about, that's all that really matters. However, for this process, the key is identifying where you currently are in this process and understanding the job of the ego. The job of the ego is to focus. It is to go in a certain direction. But the job of the ego is not to figure out how everything must happen. You know, I wouldn't have been able to even lay out 30 days of videos back in February 2017 because I didn't know. I did it in the moment, and I trusted that every single day I'd have a new topic to talk about. Guess what? Every single day I had a new topic to talk about. And I've been doing daily videos now for over a year, almost 2 years. And people ask me all the time, Aaron, how do you make daily videos? How do you do this? And I just trust. I just trust that it's also because I think I have an intention to add value. There's a thing that's often underlooked in society and in reality in general. It's when you have an intention of adding value to other people, the universe wants to help you. It's like, it looks at me and it's like, oh, Aaron, you're trying to add value to people. We're gonna give you more opportunities. We're gonna give you more people going in your direction. We're gonna help you be inspired to make the right videos. So the universe is supporting me because I have this intention to add value to other people. So that's also something to think about, is trusting the universe is about understanding what are you passionate about And not only what are you passionate about, but how can you add value to other people? Because you may find the more you add value to other people, the more that comes back to you. I really believe that because I put so many videos out on YouTube with such a pure intention to help people, and like maybe part of it's like, bro, I mean, you're not this heavenly saint, you know, and it's not like you're just making videos for the collective consciousness. You probably at a certain level want to make money or have abundance or travel the world or be well known. And yeah, to be honest, there's a part of that probably is true. I'm not going to lie to myself and say, no, having subscribers is not cool at all. I just want to help the collective consciousness. I'm aware that there is a desire there but it's more of a desire to add value and to have influence on people, to be honest with you. I'm not a heavenly saint, like I said, but in general, it's a genuine authenticity of my intention, but you can still have parts of the ego there. So I'm not saying that you have to completely discount and crush the ego. Sometimes you hear people say that. They say, ego is the enemy. Ego is the enemy. Your ego is still a part of you, bro. Like, the ego is still something that you are with. The key is not to identify with it. So it's about being aware, because if you try to crush your ego, you're crushing a part of something that you use in your daily life. That ends up creating resistance. So it's about not identifying with it. You know, you can observe the ego. That's more powerful than trying to crush or think the ego is the enemy. And when you do that, you find that things happen better for you. So be aware of where your energy is, and don't think the ego is bad, but don't identify with the ego. Don't identify with it in the sense that, oh, I'm having these thoughts. This is how reality has to be. The beliefs that come up from it. It's about the balance of the two. Now, let me tell you something that I've been doing recently that's really helped me in my life. And that is when there's some type of resistance, first off, observe it. It's very powerful. But also, give it up to your higher mind. You see, there's two aspects of you. That which we call the ego, and this larger awareness. This larger awareness we could call your higher self. And when you identify with just the ego, you keep yourself this big. When there's this big other part of you that has the connection to this, you have the connection to the universe as well, but that has this really direct source to the universe, all the creative ideas. And the thing is if you don't recognize this, you don't really tap into it that much. You have to be aware of it. So the reason I'm saying this is sometimes there's a blueprint in our mind of how reality has to work. There's a blueprint that says reality must work like XYZ. And all these rules that we have in our mind create resistance. The key is being aware of those rules, but knowing that they don't have to dictate your whole entire life. And that at the same time, what if the best possible case scenario that your ego could imagine this is your ego, this is your physical body, the best possible case scenario you can imagine is right here. But imagine your higher mind, which is really more of who you are anyways. The ceiling to your ego is the floor of your higher mind. So if you say over and over again, this is how things have to happen, this is what my ego thinks, this is how the blueprint that I have in my mind, then you're actually limiting yourself. Because there's this part of you that has a larger perception of how things could happen. And if you would just go with the flow more and tap more into an emotion, into a state of being, that current would just carry you. That current would just carry you along, and you would find that then you create things easier than ever because you're in alignment. Think about this in alignment. There's this inner awareness, higher self part of you, and there's this ego you. And what you want to learn to do is to go down both, to be aware of both, and to trust the universe when it's time, when you feel resistance, it's time to give it up. I've had moments where it's like, I'm just going to give this up to the divine. I'm just going to give it up to the divine. The divine, you call it whatever you want. You call it God, you call it divine, you call it the source energy, universe. They're all just labels. But you give it up to a higher aspect of you. And when you do that, it will then reflect that back to you. You will then get some sort of sign. You will feel the release because then you realize that you don't have to carry it all on your back. You may have just thought that you had to carry the weight of your ego and the weight of all these desires, this blueprint in your mind on your back, and you had to do it all. You don't have to do it all. You just have to focus, set intentions, and pay attention to the signs and pay attention to how you feel and go in that direction. And if you start to feel resistance, give it up to the universe. Because most likely if you are creating resistance, then there's some type of energy moving. Maybe you're taking action, but it's not the right action. Or maybe you're feeling some type of emotion, but at least you're feeling emotion. give yourself a little bit more credit than maybe you're giving yourself. And also understand that, what are your beliefs about manifestation in general? Do you believe that your ego has to do everything? Because mine did for a long time. I thought I have to do X, Y, Z. I have to do everything like this. And if I don't, then I won't get what I want. And you may have heard me on my earlier part of my YouTube channel just constantly talking about taking massive action. And I think it was purposeful then, because there was a lot of people that, especially in the law of attraction community, that just don't want to take action. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I know there's people that don't take much action to get amazing results, that they're in true alignment, and I think that's amazing. However, so many people are like, I wanted this, I want this, I want this, I want this, but then they're not backing it up with the belief. Because if you believe something to be true, you believe it, but you also back it up with action. If I'm like, yeah, I believe I could be full-time on YouTube, but I never made a video. Did I really believe I could be full-time on YouTube? Probably not, because I wouldn't have even taken action. But if I do believe that it's possible for me to go full-time on YouTube, then what is the natural alignment of that? Well, taking action, trusting that every day there'd be a new topic, being in that passionate state when I make videos. You see, this isn't a this or this type thing. This is a this and this type thing. It's not that you just trust the universe and you just sit at home. It's not just that you take massive action and you don't trust anything and grind your nose to the grindstone, or whatever that common saying people say is. It's about both. It's about trusting the universe. Now, when it comes to trusting the universe, also understand the power of decreasing importance. Anything you make very important, you put on a pedestal. Anything you put on a pedestal, you feel resistance about. Decrease the level of importance by knowing you're good either way. Because this is the thing. Sometimes you think that this is your path, and something bad that happens, automatically there's a jolt in your energy, and you say, this shouldn't be here. You create resistance, and then you experience a reality that is equal to that resistance you feel. However, if you weren't to label that thing as negative and being something that's a block or like a wrench in your gears, then maybe if you were to expand that perception, you'd see that yes, that happened, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get what you desire or that you get what your intention is. It just means that maybe that's a step closer in the direction to where then eventually you get there. So at the same time, don't be so quick to label the meaning to things as being good or bad. Things just are. Things may just be a part of a larger process that the ego just doesn't understand right now. Because remember, the ego can only see it in its own lane. But when you expand yourself beyond the ego, you then go, where do we go? Where do we go? The higher selves. The higher selves. We're all, we all have a higher self, And it's about being aware that there's these two perspectives. And one perspective feels much better than the other, but if you align both, wow. It's also like the ego's the mind, the higher self is your heart. Combine your mind and your heart. When you do that, it sounds cliche, I get it. You're like, oh, everyone says that, follow your passion, follow your bliss. But when you're doing what you're passionate about, you're connected to your heart. And in that higher vibrational state, you then experience a reality that is equal to that feeling that you're putting out. You then resonate with people that also are in that similar vibration state, and you'll find that your life takes on a very magical type experience, very magical. So be aware of that too. But for this process, I say one of the most important parts of it is, how do you relate to manifestation itself? Do you think that manifestation is hard? Do you think the ego must do everything? Do you think that things just can't be that easy? Because whatever you believe to be true about this process will be true for you. But you can let that go. You can see it as the middle way. You want to go down the middle way, not the ego way, not even just the trust in the universe way. That can be powerful too, but align the two. Combine your head and the heart. Understand where you are in this journey. Maybe you're taking action, you feel resistance. Trust the universe more. Maybe you believe that the manifestation is hard and that you can't have what you want. Go within and see why that's there. What proved to you in the past? Is it something that someone told you? Maybe at one point you liked the law of attraction, and somebody was like, that's hocus pocus stuff. What are you talking about, bro? Come back to reality, bro. And you're like, all right, bro. And then you did it. But you don't have to always do it. You could come up from, only go based on your own experience. So much of our reality is just based on hearsay. We hear it on the news. We hear someone else talk about something. They say, oh, this is the way it is. And you say, okay, yeah, that is the way things are. But the moment you hear something like that, you can choose whether that becomes your reality or not. You can choose whether you internalize it and that becomes true for you. So Instead of going on intellectual, theoretical ideas of this is the way reality is or this is the way reality is, what is true for you in experience? What have you experienced before? Test it out. Test it out. Try it. See how it is. But don't just be subservient to that of other people's beliefs, theories, ideologies, without going within yourself first. The true power is within you. I know, once again, it's another cliche thing. Follow your passion. Combine your head to your heart. True power is within you. But it's true. It's true. That is really how it works. You are really more powerful than you can even imagine. You really are. You're much more than you know. You're much more than you think. And you're also much more than you can think. Think about that. You're not just more than you think, you're more than you can think. Even because that's from your ego, remember? It's the ego. The best case scenario for the ego is just the floor to the higher mind. And if you start to trust the process more, you get out of the ego. You might still be aware of it, but you start to go more down this middle way of trusting and aligning. You may still take action, especially if your actions combine to what you love doing, but it's about trusting both. This is what's here for you right now. Trust the universe. Trust the process. Know that it's all coming from within anyways. Know that your reality is a reflection of what you believe to be true. Decrease importance to things you're giving a lot of meaning to. Importance can also kind of contribute to meaning. But let go of giving things too much meaning. You're worthy. You know that? Do you know that you're worthy? Do you know that you don't have to try so hard for people to like you? People can like you for just you being you. And even if they don't agree with you, they can still respect that at least you're being yourself. These are all things that you know deeply within. I'm just here to remind you and just be like, hey, look at this. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say today. You're more powerful than you know. Your state of being is important. Focus on how you feel. Set more intentions. And trust the process. Your higher self knows what's up, because your higher self can see more than your ego. Tap into your heart center. Tap into your heart center and watch what happens. Now, a part of this is, as well, is understanding the patterns of the past, how they kind of keep us in the ego. One of the most powerful meditations I've ever created is on completing the past. And you can listen to it for 21 days. It will change your life. It's a YouTube video. You can read the comments to see how powerful it is. Listen to it for 21 days and watch what happens in your life. Also, I'll be doing more live Q&As on Instagram. I do them almost every day. And not just that, I post twice a day there as well. So if you want native content from me on Instagram, I create a lot of content there. You'll see that right here. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of today's video as well. This kind of style. It's more sit down, a little more casual. I'm in my backyard right now, so it's a little bit out of the norm. Let me know what you think of it. Maybe I'll do more like this. And that if you like this video, could you do me a favor and like it? Could you also subscribe if you're not? Hit the notification bell so you can see the daily vids I do. Because the way YouTube does it now is you have to hit that bell to see the daily vids. So I got videos coming out every day. I got some good stuff coming. I'm excited for you to share it with you. So other than that, as always, peace, much love, namaste.